Hello, self, Carla, who's watching my reflections. This is American Nation Section 2, Chapter 16 review. This is towards Civil War. It is basically the prelude to the Civil War chapter, where we go over all the systematic failures that led to the secession of South Carolina and the rest of the Confederacy, and we end with like Fort Sumter, the Civil War officially beginning. We talk about things like Bleeding Kansas and the abolition movement and Uncle Tom's Cabin and all that stuff. Um, Basic upgrades done the whole way, as usual. The vocabulary was upgraded with pictures. All the objective pages were streamlined, formatted, and fixed. Replacing broken links, fixing spelling errors. I've been placing a little more emphasis on spell checking quiz questions recently and making sure all the answers make sense and there's one very correct answer, one answer that's close but very distinctly wrong, and then whatever other answers I put in there. That was the basic stuff. Of note for Section 2, for Section 2, 16.2, the kids struggled with 16.2. And the answer is there in the lesson, but I think a lot of the kids try to get away without reading the lesson or skimming the lesson. It causes problems. How did Chief Taney reason that Dred Scott should not have been able to sue for freedom? It's easy. He decided that Dred Scott was not a person. He was a piece of property, and therefore, not being a person, he's not a citizen. He couldn't sue in the first place. There's even more in the advanced about what was the reasoning behind this. How did it how did it reason that slavery couldn't be abolished is because the government can't take your property without due processes, which is what they would be doing if they outlawed slavery anywhere. So they basically made outlawing the slavery unconstitutional. We talk about that in advance. We do that in the lesson here, but I don't ask them about it. Even so, they struggled. Let's check the average grade. Yeah, 78. It's a little lower. Yeah, so Toria got it right. But regardless, they had trouble with that. I don't know if really, maybe I could put more emphasis on that part when I do the video. I'll have to brainstorm ways to make them do better on that one. 16.2, yeah, was it? Oh, I discovered a problem with my course here. I was out. This course was out of compliance because these chapter 16 all the guided notes throughout the whole chapter so far. I have to have them for this class because I have kids with an IEP that require guided notes that need to be graded and turned in. So I put in the beginning of this, and it's just that section can see it. So nobody sees this assignment except the people in that group. And I had to put it in the beginning because ideally they fill out the guided notes as they go through the chapter, and then the due date is always set for the last day of the test. But because I had to put it first and it's the assignment itself, I couldn't put this. I put submit on it, but I didn't do that before because then they'd have to turn something in before they can move on, and they're supposed to have it in the beginning and not turn it into the end. The easy fix is to just create a guided notes content page, but everyone will see it because you can't set that. This is an interesting problem solving. I might have to put guided notes for everyone, and only the kids with the IP will turn it in. Otherwise, it'll just be a resource for everyone. That's what I'll have to do, and create an assignment on the end that is submit, so I can be in compliance and at the same time fulfill my IEP, my SDIs. So that's an interesting thing that came up this chapter when we just so happened that we learned about, the dashboard and the compliance and things that were making you out of compliance. So very interesting, very interesting. But it's an easy enough fix, for the rest of the school year, and then next year I'll just have to do a content page and an assignment at the end. That's all. That's all. That's really it for this chapter. The kids struggled with 16.2 assignment and the compliance issue. If we look at the test, how did they do? 86%, not bad. I don't think they had an essay question. Nope. Nope. Yep. Some kids always do better than others, but averaged out to 86. Yep. It's not bad. Not bad. Alright. That's it for 16. We're moving into the Civil War. The virtual lesson went fine for this chapter. It's the same for the advanced kids. They all come to class together. That's it. I'll see you at the end of 17.